Democracy. Hello, I'm Wilma Fingerdoo with This Week in Drag. We start things off by going down under because Drag Race Down Under Season 2 has been given a release date of Saturday, July 30th. So, I'd say it's as good a time as any to meet the queens. Winner of the best drag name of the season, it's Aubrey Have. Clearly a fan of Austin Powers. Originally from New Zealand, Aubrey makes her home in Melbourne where she's only been doing drag for a year. A year? Look at her! Although new to drag, Aubrey is a theater major, so she's no stranger to entertaining an audience and hopes the other queens totally underestimate her. Good luck to you, Aubrey. Beverly Kills seems to be a dyed-in-the-wool rocker chick and is the youngest queen of the season, so it'll be fun to see how the other queens react to her. She may be the youngest, but in her words, Beverly Kills is a viper in the grass, which I think would be more impressive, a statement if they weren't in Australia, the viper capital of the world. Faux Fur, my second favorite drag name of the season, clearly a graduate of the Davina de Campos School of Laughter, this delicate flower is loud. She's been doing drag for 7 years, and this queen's beauty is matched only by her personality. And she talks a big game. For all her talk, I'm expecting her to be the lip-sync assassin of the season. Only time will tell if she disappoints me. Hanaconda is from Sydney, Australia, and calls herself the fairy godmother of drag. After a failed attempt to join the priesthood, I hope she meant that professionally, Hannah found a new church through drag and is ready to preach to the children. There's a get on your knees joke there, and I won't make it. Queen Kong has been doing drag for 6 years and is clearly one of the more polished apples in the bowl. She's a trained professional dancer, so I expect a lot from this queen, especially if she lands herself in the bottom two. Being of Samoan and Tongan descent, she comes from a long line of talking chiefs and feels it's her job as a South Pacificer to tell stories of drag for the next generation. Newsflash! I expect this queen to go far. Minnie Cooper is the second oldest queen to ever compete on Drag Race anywhere at 50 years of age. And she looks good. I'm expecting this queen's experience to take her far in this competition. And as Entertainer of the Year 3 times now, my guess is that she does it. Seriously. Molly Poppins seems like a lot of fun, but will that bubbly personality be enough to win Season 2 of Drag Race Down Under? We'll have to see. The fact that she doesn't sew and that she feels there's already enough drag queens in the world doesn't bode well. Seriously. How can there be enough drag queens? Pamara Fifth has been performing for 8 years. Her drag name is a nod to her family home address, which has to be a first for drag queens anywhere. She has a practical sense of humor that I think will take her far in this competition. We'll just have to see. Spanky Jackson, okay, I like this name too, has been doing drag since she was 14, and her personality proves it. Although her interview outfit was kind of plain, she more than makes up for it with confidence and joie. Let's hope that she's feeling it when she has to sew something. Just saying. When I said Yuri Guy's name out loud, it made me laugh so hard. This homeschooled queen from a religious family can sew, and for me, that puts her at the head of the pack. Let's hope her personality matches her skill level because I secretly like this queen. Well, there's your cast. Drag Race Down Under premieres on Saturday, July 30th, so check your local listings. Now it's time to go across the pond and beyond the channel on Drag Race France, where Nikki Doll kicked the week off with a mini challenge. In pairs, the 8 remaining queens would have to show how to make a baguette, with one queen in 15-minute quick drag and the other queen be in her arms. It was a classic sight gag with the Drag Race France twist. All the pairs were fun to watch, but I'd be lying if I didn't say some were funnier than others. Point of fact, the mini challenge winners, Ellipse and La Brioche. This week's maxi challenge wasn't just a ball, it was a French ball. The queens would showcase 2 looks they brought from home for the first 2 categories, My Own France and French Cliché. And the final category was an ode to Cannes that the queens would be making themselves. You know, the huge. And what materials were the queens given to work with? Well, because it was Cannes, pool toys and beach accessories, and the queens had to incorporate at least 3 of these items into their looks. While the queens got to work, La Grande Dame talked about having to move away from Nice after being attacked and hospitalized. It was an emotional moment that had the queens reflecting on the strength they have to get through things like that and to remember the ones who didn't. Nikki Doll popped by with my secret Drag Race crush, Kitty Smiles, for an impromptu runway walk masterclass. As informative as Kitty was, this was almost more for fun and letting off a little bit of steam. And then it was time for the ball. Nikki Doll set a stunning tone in her glamour as she welcomed guest judges, French fashion icon and legendary lingerie designer Madame Chantal Thomas, and the editor-in-chief of Elle magazine, Véronique Philipponat. I hope I said that right. Category 1, Sweet France of Mine. Paloma was first in a very Moulin Rouge-inspired look that honored her home region, Auvergne, the region of cheese, which explains that cheese plate on her head. I gave her look a Fingerdoo because, well, I was hungry. Lolita Banana was next in a chain link overdress with lovers' locks all over it that paid homage to her Paris. With a backstory like that, how can I not give her a Fingerdoo? La Grande Dame's Sweet France of Mine look almost didn't make it through the door, but once it did, everyone was gagged. I'm still not sure what this look has to do with her hometown, but I was so busy giving it a Fingerdoo that I just didn't care. Ellipse got a Fingerdoo for me for showing her France as queer with her long coat lined with the inclusive pride flag colors. It was gorgeous. La Brioche's traditional outfit from Poitou, Charente wasn't polished enough for a Fingerdoo for me, and it appears the judges may have thrown some shade at it too. In other news, that's exactly what they did. Soa de Muse drew inspiration from Martinique for her hometown look, and not only did it get a Fingerdoo for me, but Madame Chantal Thomas said Soa was pretty. Cam Yu channeled a pigeon with her ode to Paris, and I don't mean that as a euphemism. I just love this look. The only thing that I could have sold it more for me would have been if she'd pooped on a statue. I can't say pooped. Well, I can say Fingerdoo. I'm still not sure what Big Bertha's hometown is, but it involves denim machino dresses with a smidge of Marie Antoinette and the kitchen sink, which is where I'm assuming she got all that water from. Fingerdoo for Big B. Category 2 was French cliches. Paloma wore a high-waisted pant and jacket combo with matching oversized beret covered in graphic paint splatters to represent the tourist popular portrait artists of Montmartre. It was so chic, I couldn't help but give her a Fingerdoo. Seriously. In other news, this is the second time we've seen a yarn wig on Drag Race France. Soa wore one on episode 1. New Parisian trend or awkward coincidence? More on this as it comes in. Lolita Banana, God, I hate saying that name. Lolita Banana wore a cautionary yellow dress with reflective elements, but the star of her show was her picket sign for all reasons. It was her way to address the cliche that the French are always complaining. They're not? Well, I know I didn't hate this look, so I gave her a Fingerdoo. La Grande Dame's French cliche was, I don't know, unnecessary dresses, an unflappable face during an on-runway zipper malfunction. I'll tell you this much. I didn't care what she represented. She looked so good. Even with the death of that boot on the runway, God bless her, Fingerdoo for La Grande. Thirdly, Ellipse chose the French cliche of wine, and I, for one, thought she did a great job doing it. That exaggerated figure to represent a wine glass was gorgeous. I could have done without the serving tray hat. It kind of made her look Spanish for some reason. Not that Spanish wine isn't delicious too. Still, Fingerdoo for Ellipse. La Brioche combined 2 classic cliches. The classic Brigitte Bardot image from the 60s and baguettes. Baguette Bardot. As unsettling as this imagery was, I gave La Brioche a Fingerdoo. She's scared of Spain. Soa de Muse gave an editorial representation of the cliché French woman who protests against marriage equality, while she hides her own particular tastes from the world. I don't think that's limited to French women. Either way, Fingerdoo for Soa. Camus' cliche was French bakers and their croissants, but the bigger cliche for me was that Cam was sporting yet another corset. Still, it was beautiful, so Fingerdoo. Big Bertha's cliche was that Parisian accordion we hear whenever shows like The Facts of Life or The Brady Bunch go to France. Personally, I like that accordion. What I didn't like was that Big Bertha's outfit came off as very last minute to me, so I had to give it a finger don't. The last category was the outfits the queens made themselves in honor of Cannes Film Festival. Paloma's pink cocktail number featured plastic flamingos on the bodice and was so kicky, I had to give it a finger do. Lolita impressed me with her dress. It was really well made, and she worked the hell out of that skirt, so finger do. La Grande Dame's two-piece outfit was fantastic. The dress was gorgeous. Her makeup was gorgeous. I just wish her earrings had been red instead of pink. Still, finger do for La Dame. I was impressed that Ellipse made her outfit. The only problem was I didn't like it very much. I did, however, love the color, so I gave her a finger do bless. La Brioche's dress was just a tube with a slit up the side so she could walk. She didn't even iron the fabric, so I had to give her a finger don't too. Soa's little black dress was cheeky, mostly because it was too short in the back for regular mortals. For Soa, it was just about right. Finger do. I have to say I was impressed by Cam's dress too. She cut up and reimagined pool floaties into a not too hideous one-shouldered number. Finger do for Cam. Big Bertha went the Grecian route for her ode to Cannes. I loved that blue velvet fabric, but there was so much of it. Even her low-cut back reveal kind of got lost in the sauce there, so I had to give her a finger don't, bless. But when the ball was done and the judges had deliberated, the winner this week was Cam Oog. And lip-syncing it out to Aya Nakamura's Pookie was La Brioche and Soa again. Poor Brioche gave it her all. Hell, she even flashed her beautiful breasts, but she was no match for Soa. So, when the music died, it was no surprise to me that Soa de Muse chanted, and La Brioche was the third queen of season 1 of Drag Race France to sashay away. 3 queens down, 7 more to go. Next week is Drag Race France's first kick at the can with Snatch Game. Regardless of whether I know what celebrities the queens are playing, I'm looking forward to them making us laugh. Finger do's crossed. Drag Race France airs on Thursdays. Check your local listings. Over on Drag Race All-Star 7 All Winners Episode 9, the Maxi Challenge had the queens creating a viral-worthy TikTok dance video to one of Rue's several many songs. Joining the judges this week was Tony Award winner and Stone Cold Cutie, Ben Platt. On the runway, the category was What Lies Beneath. Shea wore a fabulous blue and white boa cover-up over a light blue cover-up, which she removed to reveal a blue satin dress with no backside. Too bad she stopped there. I gave Shea's booty a finger do. Jada had one of the best runways of the night. Her seasonal theme went from a Winter Wonderland cover-up to a springtime smocky frock to a gorgeous green number with a matching hat to an autumnal gown. Clearly, I gave her a finger do. The Vivi hit the catwalk in a gorgeous Evil Queen metallic green gown, then ditched the skirt for matching leggings and gorgeous sequin boots. I couldn't give Vivi a finger do. It was just 2 looks. Roger's oversized poncho with a pink flamingo chapeau revealed a party dress of pebbles and color, which revealed a Venus flytrap themed leotard with ruffled pink gloves, which totally deserved a finger do. Evie's wooden hobble dress revealed a gossamer gown that was meant to represent goo, but didn't really work. To reveal a gecko, I'm assuming, influenced leotard. The star of Evie's runway was her retractable mask, but it wasn't enough for a finger do, I'm sorry to say. Jinx's runway had a classic art theme, which took her from Liechtenstein to Monet, not Exchange, to Warhol, and finished with Klimt. I would have given her 4 finger do's if I could. Wait, isn't this my show? Monet's runway was a beautiful journey of Black empowerment, starting with Harriet Tubman. Under that, she was a Black Panther in a mini trench, which she removed to reveal a long stretch, sleeveless sequin sheath dress with the words, "And we still fight." It was a powerful runway that totally deserves a Fingerdoo. Seriously. Trinity was wearing a floral showstopper. She was like a one drag queen Rose Bowl parade. Then she started ditching flowers. The hip flowers went first, then she ditched the skirt, and then, just before leaving the stage, she ditched the corset. When the petals stopped falling, I gave her a well-deserved Fingerdoo. Who wouldn't? And then we watched the Queen's dance videos. Shay's dance was hands down the best. I'd be surprised if that wasn't a viral video already, seriously. Jada's dance relied more on comedy and her pre-dance monologue, which was good, because she's funny. She just didn't have a very good dance, is what I'm saying. Speaking of bad dances, I felt bad for the Vivi. It's the first time this season that she wasn't very funny, and don't even get me started on that dance, bless her. Roger did a dance based on her name. It was called the Raja, and each letter of her name represented a move or a mood for a move. I'm still not sure which. Cute as it was more of a feeling than a dance, if you ask me. I'm not saying it was a good feeling. Evie's dance challenge video was called The Odd Bod, but it should have been called War and Peace. It had so many steps involved. Seriously. Jinx's peanut butter video was hysterical, but her screaming at her deadbeat son off camera was the star of that show. God, what single moms go through. RuPaul's choreography was fabulous in Monet's video. Good thing Monet listened to her. Trinity's dance intro was hilarious. Her dance looked more like me trying on clothes in a fitting room, but the star of Trinity's show was her new catchphrase, I live! So funny. Then Ru announced that the top two all-stars were Jinx Monsoon, but I feel that was more for her comedy than for her dance. And Monet Exchange, finally. They did a spoken word lip sync to the legendary Designing Women's scene from Season 1, Episode 2, The Beauty Contest, featuring Dixie Carter as Julia Sugarbaker telling off a beauty queen for disrespecting her sister Suzanne. It's one of the best moments in television history. Seriously. This was so fabulous to watch. Jinx didn't just give it her all. It felt like she was actually channeling Julia Sugarbaker. Monet, on the other hand, was a masterclass in theatrical expression. It was like watching a high-powered attorney make their closing arguments. She was so good! So, when the scene was done, I wasn't surprised that it was Monet for the win, the $10,000 tip, and the power to block a queen. And who did she block? Well, shock of shock, even after all their made-up language nonsense, Monet blocked Roger. I thought for sure she would have blocked Jada. Next week, the All-Stars will be competing in a roast where the victims are going to be each other. Seeing as Jinx is the queen of the roast, I'm predicting a fourth Legendary Legend star for her. RuPaul Drag Race All-Star 7 Winners Edition airs on Fridays. Check your local listings. And there you have it. Until next week, that was This Week in Drag. I hope you were in drag too.